Rheumatoid arthritis is an interesting condition. If you look across the United States, a couple million people every year suffer from rheumatoid arthritis. And it's called arthritis, but it's not really arthritis, and that's where the problem comes in. It's really an autoimmune disease, just like lupus. Everybody knows lupus, but nobody thinks of rheumatoid arthritis in the same context. And you have young people, you have old patients with the same kind of problem. They wake up every day and it hurts. And we think about arthritis, joints, but it's not just the joints. Did you know that a lot of people with rheumatoid arthritis have a much higher risk for heart attack because the disease attacks the heart itself, or the sac covering the heart? They have a much higher risk for lung conditions and infections. They have a much higher risk for stroke. So forget the joints itself. I'm a hip and knee surgeon, and I always think, rheumatoid arthritis, I think joints, I think, achy knees, achy fingers, but it's not osteoarthritis, and that's where the awareness comes into play. The Rheumatoid Awareness Day is a very important new event that I think has to happen. It started in 2013, and it's hard to measure how much of an impact it does, but up to 40 million people are tuning in. So that's a lot of people across the country that are paying attention to it. Your chance of having rheumatoid arthritis is about 1.2% over your lifetime. For women, that risk is up to 3.6% in a lifetime. Risk for rheumatoid arthritis. It's something that, you're having kids, you're running around, and suddenly you turn 40, 45 and your joints hurt. And we go in under the assumption sometimes that it is osteoarthritis, and it's not. I have a patient. I did a total hip arthroplasty. The hip went well. Guess what? Her knees hurt, her other hip hurts, her shoulders hurt, her fingers hurt. She can't get off her cane because everything hurts. It's not just a joint, it's not just a thing, it's a system-wide problem. It's Groundhog's Day. So February 2nd is Groundhog's Day. It's also Rheumatoid Arthritis Awareness Day. And just like the groundhog, he wakes up and sees, predicts the weather, and it's highly unpredictable. Every time we think it's going to be something, it's not. Same thing with rheumatoid arthritis. One, we try to predict what's going to happen. You never know. These patients wake up every day with the same problems, and you can't treat it. We can treat HIV nowadays, but we cannot treat rheumatoid arthritis. We can maintain it. You can treat the symptoms of it to a certain extent, but all those people are suffering. They wake up every morning and have the same problem. So bringing up awareness is important. It's exciting that a big company like Lamar Advertising has put billboards across highways, just so that as you drive by, you realize that it's a problem. Rheumatoid arthritis, it's a true condition. People are suffering from it. And it's not just a disease of old people like typical arthritis. It's not just wear and tear. It's an autoimmune condition that affects a lot of people out there. People right next to your right next to your left. It's something that I think is important to be aware of. I'm going to sign the petition for Rheumatoid Awareness Day. And I think it's very important because just me as a physician that takes care of hip and knee patients, it's not just about that. I think it's important to become a national day so that everybody is aware of it. So it's not just the physicians that are like, oh yeah, I see the patient with hip and knee, maybe they have rheumatoid arthritis. But so that, you see people at the store, you see kids, in school, you see mothers and fathers, so that people can realize maybe why the reason they're limping, the reason they're on a cane is because they have rheumatoid arthritis. And it's not just their joints, their heart. Got to be aware, somebody dropping from a heart attack, that's something that you should have in the back of your mind. Is it, a condition of rheumatoid arthritis? Strokes, a lot of other health diseases. It attacks your whole body. And that's why I think it's important to sign the petition. That's why it's important to bring awareness. That's why it's important to get it national. 2 to 3 million Americans suffer from rheumatoid arthritis every year. That's a big number.